I'm Locum 23 and you're joining me for Open Heart, Chapter 13, Time Bomb. Your heart flutters as you imagine you return to the hospital the first time you'll have been back since the attack. Am I really ready to do this? And you remember the rash you spotted on Farley's arm, knowing he'll never get it checked out unless you urge him to it. It's now or never. Farley needs me. It would be nice to get an extra confidence boost to help me face Edenbrook again, though. Let me guess, an outfit? You glance out the window and see snow drifting down to the ground. The first of the season. It looks cold out there. I should bundle up. For me to close the doors, peering inside for something warm. Women have strange dressing sense. Like, I look at this and I'm like, it's a dress in the middle of winter. Or at least the start. Okay. Perfect. At least I won't have to worry about looking good. You quickly get changed and meet Farley outside your apartment building. Nice threads, Casey. You sure clean up good. For first day back in a while, figured I'd dress for the occasion. Walking in with someone looking like you, I'm starting to think I really will get this 5-star treatment you're talking about. Ready to do this? Guess that'll get that, okay. Did you ever see Dr. House? Did you ever see him dress good? Yeah. As I'll ever be. Let's get a move on, though. It's colder than a witch's you-know-what out here. What? You and Farley get off the T and hurry across the hospital parking lot. A whole pack of butterflies flutter in your stomach at the thought of walking back inside, but you force yourself to ignore them for Farley's rash. You lead Farley to the free clinic. A door opens and Jackie walks out. Casey, Farley, what's going on? Did something happen? We're dating. You're not supposed to be back until at least next week. Or are you just here to show off that awesome new getup? I wish, but this is actually a professional call. Farley dropped by to see how I was doing, and I noticed a rash on his wrist that just didn't look right. I need someone to check it out. Alright, let's get him in the exam room. Jackie leads Farley to a bed, closes the door behind him. Farley squints at the fluorescent light as Jackie takes a close look at his rash. Anything else going on, Farley? Like what? For example, have you felt ill in the past couple weeks? Have been experiencing any aches or pains? Made any lifestyle changes recently? I've been experiencing aches and pains. Well, I run an entire complex on my own. Ain't nothing that doesn't ache at least some of the time. Does anything hurt in a new way? I guess my neck's been stiffer than usual. I figured I slept on it wrong, but it's been bugging me for a couple weeks. For a couple. Mother of... A rash and muscle pain. Well, Casey, you were right to bring him in. I'll get him admitted. Leave all the paperwork to me. We're admitting him through the diagnostics team. I'm never gonna fight you for paperwork. See you later, Farley. Cassie. Lead Farley up to the diagnostics office. Ethan sitting behind his desk. Casey, I didn't expect you back. I thought you weren't ready yet. Though you certainly look ready for anything. Have you always dressed this well? Oh, for the love I'm gonna throw a shoe. I like to inspire confidence in my patients. That might not be the only thing you inspire. Am I interrupting something? Or... Yeah, I question this myself. Nothing that can wait, Casey. Care to explain? I have a patient that I was hoping the team could take on pro bono. You fill him on what you know of Farley's condition. I know it might be nothing, but Farley's my landlord, and the last few days he's been really... He shrugged at a loss for words, but Ethan seems to understand what you've left unsaid. Mr. Farley needs medical care. Of course, we'll take care of his case. You find a nurse to escort Farley to his room, and then turn back to Ethan. Thanks for doing this. It was the only way I could get him to agree to the treatment. Of course. And Casey? Yeah. It's nice to see you back. After a quick change in the locker room, you're on your way to the lab to drop off Farley's blood samples when you hear the sound of raised voices. How dare you challenge me on this? Do you know how many years I have on you? That doesn't stop you from being wrong, old man. Ooh. Oh no. Race towards Zaid and Esme, hoping you can intervene before Esme gets herself kicked out of the residency program for insubordination. A Clockwork Orange is a masterpiece. It's a... Oh god, what is this? It's a masturbatory male fantasy, and even worse, it's super annoying. Eyes Wide Shut is way better. You must be joking. That is easily Kubrick's worst film! What the hell's going on here, and why are you yelling at my intern about movies? Casey, nice to see you back. We're yelling because it's fun. Ortega, come see me when you've watched Paths of Glory. Only if you promise to watch something made in the last decade, dude. And Scorsese and Tarantino don't count. Yes, they do. They chuckles and walks away. You hurry up to Esme. Esme? Oh, are you and Dr. Marani friends now? Zaid, he's cool. Nobody in the history of Edenbrook has ever described Zaid Marani as cool, though it kind of tracks that you two would get along. Did I miss anything else in the last few days? Before she can answer, you spot a familiar face walking past. Ortega. You brace yourself as Dr. Thorne walks past, but to your surprise, he gives Esme a nod. She returns it. Was he just sort of pleasant in your direction? Yeah, he's only been back a few days since he's recovered from the surgical shunt, but he's actually way less of an ass ever since I saved his life and career. Well, once he came back, he thanked me for standing up to him and apologized for what happened at the bar that night. I guess he finally remembered who I was. Wow. Sounds like you gave him a wake-up call. You're welcome. I guess. I'm still glad I broke his hand, though. What cases are you working on at the moment? A case of walking pneumonia, cardiac arrhythmia, and I guess the main issue with the last patient is kidney damage. I was about to check in on him if you want to make sure I'm doing everything right, or... No need for that. By this point in this year, I trust that you know what you're doing, or that you'll come to me if you don't. But I'd love to see you in action. You follow Esme to a patient room. A handsome young man sits up in the bed, skeptical look on his face as Declan Nash speaks to his parents. Oh, it's disappointing, but the next trial's early results are more promising. 50% reported to a reduction in pain. That's a good sign, isn't it, son? Yeah, I'm sure this time it'll finally work. We have to think positive. Always think positive. My personal motto. Now I'll leave you to the rest. We'll be in touch when you're ready to begin. You meet Declan's eye with a defiant stare as he heads for the door. He leans close, his voice a sneering whisper only you can hear. Try not to get this one killed, Valentine. I swear to God, I will break your legs. Hey, Levy, Mr. and Mrs. Coates. This is Dr. Valentine. Dr. Valentine, meet the Coates family. Are you another Levy's doctor? Does he need more? Does this mean something's wrong? Don't worry, Mr. Coates. I'm purely here as Dr. Ortega's resident. I just want to see how she's getting on. I have zero complaints about little Miss Dr. Stormcloud here. She's a scary doctor of my dreams. Shush. You raise an eyebrow at the flirty dynamic between them, but say nothing. You pick up Levy's chart and skim through it. How are you feeling today, Levy? And before you say awesome, let me note that this isn't small talk. I am feeling, well, not awesome, but good. I'm having one of my good days, whatever that means. Good days? Levy and I were in a car accident when he was in college. I was driving. Dad, for the last time, stop beating yourself up over it. It wasn't your fault. Levy suffered a severe concussion and associated brain trauma, which has left him with chronic pain ever since. Lately, his condition has been worsening. And of course, the latest trial only exacerbated that. Levy sits up. You can't help but notice the way he grits his teeth when he moves even an inch. But luckily today I'm going more than 5 seconds without excruciating pain. just in time for my birthday. He grins at Esme. She smirks back. Happy birthday. Ah, thanks. Instead of a gift, you could discourage me now, so I could celebrate it outside of this sad hall, or discharge me, so I could celebrate outside of the sad hospital. No. Levy. He did say excruciating pain. Tell me more about this car accident. It was 3 years ago. I'd been visiting Mom and Dad for the weekend. Dad was driving me to the train when this drunk guy plowed into the side of my car. I was leaning forward looking for something in the bag when it happened, so I caught the full force of the airbag in the forehead and it threw me back at a weird angle. He suffered a lot of nerve damage, hence the chronic pain. How would you describe the pain? Sharp, dull, localized? Different strokes for different days, I guess. Sometimes it feels like my whole body's on fire. Sometimes I just get this random sharp stabbing feelings in arms and legs, but it's always worse when anyone or anything touches me. Sensory overload. Anything? We keep the house at a controlled temperature so he can sleep without the sheets. Some days, even getting dressed hurts him. That should not be happening. And tell me about the kidneys. We've been trying to find him some pain relief for the new drugs Panacea is testing, but, well, they haven't been successful so far. The latest one damaged his kidneys. It's okay, Mom. It was worth a shot. Have you thought about surgery to try and repair the nerve damage? We've done 3. The last one left Levy paralyzed from the waist down for 2 weeks. He wouldn't let us try again after that. Pain management drugs are all we have left. Are you guys so stingy with the good ones? I can't even get weird. Don't say that. You know how dangerous those drugs can be. I'm kidding around, Mom. You see Levy's hands clenched around the sheets of the bed. A light sweat is breaking out on his forehead. His parents don't seem to notice, though. Honey, that reminds me. Did you ask Mr. Nash about the trial they're starting next month? Oh, shoot. Do you think we can still catch him? Not standing here, you can. He smirks, and his parents hurry out of the room after Declan. The second they go, he lets out a shuddering breath, his face transforming. Levy, is everything alright? Sorry. I just don't feel like making them feel bad. You don't need to put up a front for your parents, Levy. Yeah, I do. We both know I'm not going to be around forever. Anyway, why make it harder on them? Tell her what you told me, Dr. Stormcloud. Barring some kind of major advancement, Levy only has a few years left. His body's starting to give out. Levy, do your parents know how bad it really is? Yes and no. It's kind of impossible to explain pain that just never goes away. They still think that there's some magic bullet out there, something that'll fix me. I'm a quicker study. There are new advances all the time. You never know what might happen in the next few years. Maybe. That's certainly what my parents are holding out for, but how long do you want to wait around for maybe, He grits his teeth as his pain crests again. This poor guy. You turn to Esme as Levy struggles through the attack. Dr. Ortega, what's your treatment plan? I've got him on a regimen of diuretics to facilitate his extracellular fluid volume control, lower his blood pressure, and lessen the risk of developing hyperkalemia. If his kidney function hasn't improved in a few days, we'll consider dialysis. Let's make a deal. If it gets to dialysis, we call this thing. Very funny. I have a deal for you. How about you let us try to fix you up? You're welcome to try. Your eyes linger on Esme, smiling easily with her patient. I've never seen her like this before. It's called optimism. It's horrific. A little later, you load up a tray of cafeteria food and look for an empty seat. Ignoring the sea of stairs following you across the room, you head for where Jackie sits with a group of interns. What if the patient won't agree? You can't make the patient do anything they don't want to, but you need to make sure you've explained the benefits and risks of all of their options. Give me your eye, waves you over. All right, interns, scram so I can eat lunch with Dr. Valentine. The interns reluctantly scatter as you take a seat. What's your afternoon looking like? Well, Farley's my only patient today, and we're still waiting on his test results, So you're free to come watch me speak to a bunch of fantasy investors? I'm sorry, you're doing what? I know. They're a bunch of ghouls, but you would not believe how much they're paying me for 30 minutes of my time. I mean, she's being paid for her time to especially come and talk to investors. The problem is, I follow the Dr. House method on this crap. Anyone remember season 1? That's all I'm saying. All I'm doing is talking to a bunch of people who have already invested in the Panacea Labs. I'm not recruiting anyone or ruining any lives. Plus, I need the money too much to make a moral stand. That's BS, just saying. If you're good with it, I'm good with it. If it lets me pay rent and my student loans despite the pay cuts, I'm pretty okay with it. Well, then let's go. Jackie glances down at her gas meter as the two of you head out of town for talk. Hang on, I gotta stop for gas. Jackie pulls her car into a gas station. You climb out and lean against the car while she pumps gas. Oh, I meant to tell you, Kira's been put in charge of the numbers for your Mass Kenmore partnership idea. She's been working on them from her recovery room. Apparently she thinks there's a good chance it could work. That's great news. Excuse me, miss, can you spare a few? Wait, do I know you? You look across to Jackie's side on the car. A woman holds the hand of a little kid. She frowns in confusion as Jackie opens her purse and hands over all the cash inside. Oh, here, take this. Oh no, this is too much. Please take it. I'm trying to pay some stuff forward. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. The woman hurries off as you slide back into the passenger seat. Did you know that woman? You gave her a lot. Huh? Oh, no, I could just tell she needed it more than I did. Before you can ask any more, Jackie puts the car in gear and pulls out of the gas station and turns it back towards the hospital. Wait, isn't the conference center the other direction? You'll miss the presentation. Yeah, sorry, I forgot Gary needed my help with the patient. I'm gonna have to cancel. Slipped my mind, my bad. I don't know what's going on with Jackie, but she's clearly not as okay as she says she is. Esme finds you in the diagnostic office a little later. She steps inside, closing the door behind her, spinning a pin anxiously between her fingers. Do you have a minute? Sure. What's, something on your mind? What do you think we, as doctors, should do for our patients if the right thing to do isn't allowed? Can you be more specific? No. I'm just wondering, if there's a morally right thing to do, but there are rules in place to stop you from doing it, what do you do? I remember book 1. A good rule of thumb is to find a way to do the right thing. Even if it means risking your career. If you think it's worth it, pick your battles, obviously. But if it's the right thing to do, then it's the right thing to do. Period. How do you know when it's worth it? You ask yourself if you can live with yourself if you didn't do it. If the answer is no, then... okay, thanks. She heads out, leaving you to hope that that was just a hypothetical question. You're walking past the ER when you run into Ethan. I've just been with your landlord. How is he? A pain in the ass medically, however. I'm waiting to see if any bacteria shows up in his cultures. If he has meningitis, we'll need to... Suddenly the ambulance bay doors burst open. I have a patient here, unconscious female's 50s. You and Ethan look around the ER, but the few doctors on duty are busy with urgent cases. We'll take her. You rush to the woman's side, your jaw dropping as you take in her deathly pale face. Uh-oh. Oh my god, Ethan, it's your mom. For a moment, Ethan's rooted to a spot, but he quickly shakes himself out of it and leaps into action. Blue lips, fingertips, how's her breathing? Shallow. Pupils are small and unresponsive. I wonder... Check her arm. Track marks. It looks like an opiate overdose. We need to wake her up. Luis, damn it! Ethan grinds his knuckles into her sternum. Mrs. eyes open for a moment, then roll back in her head. I'll get the naloxone. You're ready to find a bottle of the drug, quickly prepping an injection, stabbing it in her shoulder as she draws a deep, shuddering breath, eyes fluttering as she slowly draws out of her unconscious state. Ethan steps away. Alright, she'll make it. Nurse, keep an eye on her. We're done here. As the nurse takes over, Ethan strides from the room without another word. You chase after him. Ethan. You find Ethan hunched over a cot in the empty call room. His hands are balled into tight fists. You sit beside him and run a gentle hand over his back. Ethan, are you alright? She does not get to do this to me. She does not get to make me feel bad for her. Ethan, I'm so sorry. Don't be. This has nothing to do with me. That woman isn't anyone I know. Did you have any idea she was using? No. Do you think your dad knows? I don't know. He huffs and stands. I have to get back to work. That was your mom, Ethan. She nearly died. You can take a minute. It's okay. No, it isn't. There are patients that need me much more than she does. The door shuts loudly behind him, his footsteps echoing down the hall. Later, you walk past the cafeteria and see Esme sitting alone, scribbling furiously in a notebook. What are you working on? I had an idea to help Levy. I want to throw him a little birthday party here at the hospital. I have a lot of ideas, but honestly, I've got no clue how to pull any of these together. She slides her notebook over to you. She's filled an entire page with notes. Oh, this means a lot to her. Help Esme with her patient's birthday party and build a stronger bond with your intern. I mean, why not help her? Let's go. Wayne, you'll help? Of course, let's divide and conquer. I'll call Levy's hometown friends, you call the party supplies door. They'll know what you'll need. You're a lifesaver. That is the literal definition of my job. Ha. A lot of phone calls later, Levy's room is filled with brightly colored balloons, music, and a few of his closest friends. I can't believe this. Nobody's thrown me a birthday party since 8th grade. Whatever gets you to quit whining. Nice try. I'm whining way more now that we've proven it gets beautiful girls to do nice things for me. Special delivered. Elijah wheels in a box in his lap. I didn't organize this. Don't worry, it's his dick in a box. No. I just had to. I really had to. This one's on me. Happy birthday, Levy. Is that an Xbox? Oh god, no. Jesus Christ. You couldn't have got him a PlayStation? Stop it. Stop it, Pixelberry. Okay? Stop it. Yeah, Esme told me how bad you missed playing football since your accident, so I thought this might scratch that itch. Elijah boots up the console, and a football video game appears on the screen. He hands a controller to Levy and his friends. Oh man, does this mean we can finally play football together again, Levy? I guess so. Doctors, this is my best friend and former teammate, Patrick. Thanks for taking care of my buddy, doctors. He passed Levy's shoulder. Levy winces and recoils. Be careful, Patrick. Oh, shoot, sorry, man. I keep forgetting. With effort, Levy plasters on the smile. No, it's fine. I'm just happy to be in the same room with you for a change. Levy's parents beam at you from the corner of the room. You get the feeling they're trying to stay out of everyone's way. I'll talk to them. You make your way over to Levy's parents. They brighten when they see you. Doctor, thank you so much for doing this. You don't need to thank me. It was all Dr. Ortega's idea. She's been very attentive. Not all doctors take Levy's pain as serious as they should. We've even had some doctors accuse him of faking it for drugs. Can you imagine saying something so cruel? Yes. Yes, I can. Because there are people who do that in today's day and age, so they drown out the legit ones. Hi, I'm one of them. I can't. I'm sorry you had that experience. I just hope this next trial does something for him. Anything. It's so hard seeing him like this. You wouldn't know it to look at him in bed, but he's so tall, and he used to be so broad. He was at college on a football scholarship at quarterback. He would have gone pro if it wasn't for that night. Mr. and Mrs. Coates, you can't blame yourself for what happened. How could I not? You're already running late. When I drove in the station, then I realized I didn't have any gas. If I just filled up early in the day, we wouldn't have been hit by the driver. Mr. Coates, if the driver hadn't been drunk, you wouldn't have had the accident. And if Levy hadn't been good at football, he wouldn't have been going to the college. And if we hadn't gone to the Phil Collins concert, we wouldn't have had come home and conceived Levy. Margaret! She's right, Mr. Coates. Thinking like that leads nowhere. Have you ever considered therapy to help you work through it? Me? No, there's nothing wrong with me. Yes, there is. Survivor's guilt. But therapy isn't for broken people. It's for people having a hard time. And I think you might benefit from having someone help you with the guilt you've been carrying. I think she's right, hun. You've been punishing yourself for 3 years. Let me write down the number of one of our psychiatrists. Or psychologicals. They have a sliding scale if money is an issue. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Part of our job is looking after you too. I'm glad we came here. Between the care you and Dr. Ortega are giving our boy and the new clinic trial, I'm getting a good feeling about what lies ahead. Hopefully. It's too lovely. You pull up a chair by Levy's bedside. Hey, Doc, thanks for helping Ez organize this. Don't mention it, though you should really be thanking Elijah. All I did was ask him to loan it to you. That guy must be some kind of saint. I'd like to say I'm the kind of guy who would lend a stranger in need his Xbox, but it'd be a lie. Can I ask you something? How do you stay so upbeat when you're in constant pain? Seriously, what's your secret? Because I've had plenty of tough times smiling lately, and I'm not in nearly as much pain as you are. I'd love to tell you that there's a secret hack, but honestly, I think I'm just wired this way. After all, just because I'm hurting doesn't mean I have to make the people I love hurt too. Yeah, a lot of people are like that. They get in pain and all of a sudden they treat you like a piece of crap. I wish there was something more we could do to help you. Honestly, I came to terms with the fact I'd be living with pain for the rest of my life a long time ago. Your parents don't seem to share your outlook. My parents still think I can have life I planned on before the accident. Have you tried talking to them about it? I tried once or twice, but holding out hope that they can fix me is how they cope with it. All of this. I can't take that away from them. Well, maybe the next trial will help. It won't, but I'm okay with that. I just hope they can find a way to be too. And just then, Elijah and Patrick hurried back to Levy's bedside. You see the effort it takes him to force a smile on his face. I think we're got it to work. Are you ready to get crushed? It's my birthday, you officially have to let me win. I respect you way too much for that. Casey, you want to get in on this? I'll leave it to you. Good luck. Yeah, Patrick's definitely gonna need that. Esme. Right, Esme, as she looks through Elijah's box of video games. We should have more of these around for patients to keep entertained. We could hang out after hours with them and play, you know? There's a problem with that, though. Patient, you start getting vulnerable with them, you can be compromised. Would you do that for any patient, or just Levy? Esme hesitates. What if it was just with Levy? Esme? Make sure your feelings for Levy don't cross a line. What do you mean? It's one thing to care deeply for your patients, but if you're developing feelings for him, that's different. Why? We behave irrationally around people we love. It's hard to focus on giving them the best care if we let ourselves get too close. Your life was literally just saved by a group of people who love you. Yeah, and ask them. They would be the first to admit how being close to me affected their focus. Well, you don't have anything to worry about. Levy's not an option. Sure he is, just not while you're treating him. You hear Levy whoop joyfully from across the room. Oh man, that was brutal. Levy, you annihilated him. I didn't even know the scoreboard had so many digits. It's cool. I'll take it in easy on you for the rematch. Ez, you think you can be my defensive coordinator? You're pretty good at watching out for me in the real world. If this were actual football, I could help. The American kind? I won't be much help. I'm willing to take that risk. She takes a seat on the side of his bed, careful not to touch him, but close enough to seem almost intimate. After several loud rounds of digital football cake and some tight quarters dancing, the small party begins to wind down. It's been so great to see you, Levy. I'll swing by again soon, okay? You got it. Thanks for coming. We should let you get some rest. Thank you so much for doing this for me, Doc. Both of you. He looks to Esme with bright eyes. This is the best birthday I've had in a long time. Honestly, I never expected to have a day like this good again. You're so welcome. I'm happy we could do it. Put a hand on Esme's shoulder. Let's leave them to it. Can Esme leave Levy alone with his parents? Mom, Dad, come here. You look back and find him holding his hands or arms out to his parents. But it'll hurt you. I don't care. I want to hug my parents on my birthday. Who knows how many more I'll have. Levy. Sorry, I know, banish all morbid thoughts. Just bring it in, okay? Why is it kids are always better to handle things than their parents? I never understood that. Levy's parents sit on either side of his bed and wrap their arms around him. His face creases, clearly in agony. But he still holds them tight. I love you. Thank you for everything. Whatever happens, please remember how much I love you. Over his parents' shoulders, you see tears welling in Levy's eyes, but they don't look like pain. They look more like sorrow. We love you too, son. Once you're a short distance away, you turn to Esme. She's smiling wider than you've ever seen. You did a good thing there, Esme. That family needed a boost. Couldn't have managed it without you. Return to Farley's room at the end of the day with a set of test results in hand. Hey, you're back. You seem happy. This place is better than a vacation. I got people waiting on me, bringing me food. You absolutely sure this is free? Positive. And in other good news, I know what's wrong. You've got Lyme disease. I got bit by a tick? Apparently so. It may even still be biting you. We'll have to search you to make sure it's not still on you. So, how bad is it? Is the tick gonna kill me, or no? The tick itself won't do much, but the bacteria it was carrying has infected your blood. Luckily, we caught it early enough that the treatment should prevent you from suffering long-term consequences. What if we hadn't? You would die. Lyme disease is a real-time bomb. If you hadn't come in, your symptoms might have gone away until you suffered a major infection in your brain or heart. Luckily, the treatment's easy. We'll remove the tick if it's still there, prescribe you some antibiotics, and you'll be back to normal. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate you doing all this for me. Trust me, it's my pleasure. This reminded me there are some things we can control and even make better. You head into the hallway and stop at the side of Sienna's intern leaning against the wall, staring at his phone. Sienna stands behind him, dwarfed by his height. The patient in room 234 needs a catheter, and I want Miss Fletcher's urine output monitored every hour. Yeah, I still don't feel like I've totally mastered it. You always say how important it is for me to feel comfortable and respected, and putting a tube up another guy's piece doesn't make me feel either of those things. Mitch hasn't even looked up from his phone. Sienna's eyes narrow and her hands balled into fists. My shift ended 10 minutes ago, and I've already done 2 enemas for you this week. After everything we've gone through recently, are you seriously not even gonna try to pitch in? Hey now, there's no reason to get emotional. I'm not emotional, I'm done. You're an intern, you're here to learn, not wet yourself whenever there's work to do. Ooh. 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 That burned. Ripples of laughter spread through the corridor as people stop to watch the exchange. Mitch looks at them, clearly embarrassed. I don't wet myself. Yeah, you tell him, Tren. Every person in this hospital pulls their weight except you. I've let you get away with it for way too long. You... Try to calm her down. Sienna, he's still your intern. Is public humiliating him really going to help anything? Sienna looks at you helplessly, then clenches her fist and turns back to Mitch. If you're humiliated right now, you deserve it. You've been a lazy, entitled jerk, and your patients and your colleagues have been suffering for it. And as of right now, you will treat me and everyone else in this hospital with the respect they deserve. Do you hear me? Yeah, I hear you. Now go put the tube up the guy's fucking urethra. Now, if you don't put the catheter in this patient, do it here. Do it to yourself so you won't wet your scrubs next time you're asked to work. Ooh. Ooh. It hurts. It hurts. A smattering of applause and laughter sees Mitch shout as he slinks up the hall. Sienna makes her way to your side. Don't you think that went a little too far? Probably. I should have said something sooner. I've been patient with him for so long, but I guess I just hit my limit and lost control. Oh well, at least it's out of your system now. Next morning, you swing past Levy's room to say hello and find Esme sitting beside an empty, freshly made bed. Her eyes are rimmed with red. What happened? Where's Levy? He died last night in his sleep. They're recovering his good organs. He said he wanted to be useful. Wait, this doesn't make sense. His kidney function was improving. Frowning, you check Levy's chart. You ordered him his normal dose of morphine last night? Esme, his kidney function was impaired. That amplifies opiates to toxic levels. You didn't adjust the dose? Esme is shaking and crying, clearly barely aware of your presence, let alone what you said. You startle as you hear angry shouts echoing down the hall. You, what did you do? You turn around, Levy's parents are in the doorway, their faces masks of pain and fury. What have you done? We trusted you. I'm sorry, it's my fault. It's all my fault. You stand protectively in front of Esme as Levy's parents storm in. Your brain can't catch up what's happening. Yesterday, Esme and Levy were joking and flirting. Now, Levy's dad is shouting, his mom is wailing, and Esme, of all people, is sobbing. It was a mistake. She killed our son. I'll see you in prison for this. Everyone, please. The gravity in Naveen's voice springs the room to silence. He walks inside, shares a grave look with you, and then holds an arm out to Esme. Dr. Ortega, please follow me. We need to take you down for your official statement. She killed our boy. She... Esme follows Naveen quietly out as Miss Coates collapses in her husband's arms. You don't know what to say to them. We have to comfort the parents. Esme will be handled by Naveen. I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. and Mrs. Coates. We didn't lose Levy. He was taken from us. It was a tragic accident. You're defending her. Get out! Stricken, you nod and leave them to their grief. You step into the hall and look for Esme and Naveen. Esme meets your eyes as she and Naveen step onto the elevator. She looks utterly broken. How did this happen? Your advice? She tried to do what you did. Your intern's mistake could ruin her and Edenbrook. Can you work through this together? Keep playing to find out. So I'm assuming this was meant to happen. I'm assuming our advice, whether we said, to get over it, let it go, or to, the other one, would have ended with this regardless. So, I'm gonna give you a small rant, okay? And I'm gonna try not to cry during this, because this one's very tough for me. Long story short, I don't know where you guys live, but in America, there is only a couple of cities, and rarer is a couple states, that has the die with dignity law. Where if you're terminal, if you are suffering through unimaginable pain, you are going to drown in your own lungs, or whatnot, you will be forced to die with no dignity. It is something that should be passed unanimously and federally across the United States for everyone. Why do I say this, and why do I fight getting emotional is I will drown in my own lungs unless I move to a state and reside there for a certain period of time. I am terminal unless suddenly medical science has a breakthrough or there is a miracle. I don't want to die this way. I have already experienced losing breath to the point of almost not being among the living anymore. I don't want to drown in my own lungs in discomfort while you get a certain amount of pain meds if you're in the hospital. Otherwise, you'll drown and in your own bed in your last moments. I don't want to die like that. There are a lot of other people who have terminal cancer that is inoperable, untreatable, and whatnot. And long story short, they will not die with dignity. As you're going out, and you are 9, you have no dignity. People may say you have dignity, and that you're fighting through it and you're doing all this. You don't. You really don't. Trust me, I've watched at least 6 family members die from ailments. And I watched a friend die. And it was very painful to watch. That's why I'm kind of numb to things, and yet other things extremely emotional. And when I think of my own passing, as it will come eventually, as it does for all of us, I would have liked to have died of old age, peaceful, like some people are allowed to. But There's been a lot of doctors throughout time that have tried to help their patients. And if you remember book 1, we did the same for another patient. You know, helping them. To me, it's helping them. Society wants to say that it's not something that should be looked at and you know, applauded or whatnot. But again, unless there's been a medical breakthrough, you should be allowed to die in the comfort of your own home, in a way that has dignity, in a way that is comfortable. So that's just my that's just my thought on it. And Levy was one of those people. You know, think about it. There are people who have his ailment, and one of them is speaking to you right now. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. You know what to do. It's on the screen. Have a good one.